A boy walks into a luxury dealership alone and asks to buy several high-end cars. Salesmen laugh, customers whisper, until one detail about who he really is comes out. His hands tremble, and everyone around freezes in silence. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment where in the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. The alarm buzzed, a harsh sound in the dark. A hand slapped it quiet. "Leo? You up?" His mother's voice came through the thin bedroom door. "Yeah, Mom," Leo said, his voice rough with sleep. "I'm heading out. Long day. There's cereal." The front door opened and closed. Silence filled the small apartment again. Leo sat up. He looked at his hands. They were already shaking, a small, constant tremble. He made 2 fists, then let go. It did not help. He got out of bed. In the kitchen, the note was on the table next to a box of cereal. "Have a good day at school. Love, Mom." He poured the cereal. The milk splashed a little from the spout because of his hands. He cleaned it with a towel. He dressed in the same clothes he always wore, a gray t-shirt, blue jeans, a black cap. He picked up his yellow delivery backpack from by the door. It was heavy with his school books. He slung it over one shoulder. The walk to school was 10 blocks. He kept his hands in his pockets. The Detroit morning was cool. People walked past him, not seeing him. First period was math. Leo took his seat in the back. He pulled out his notebook. The boy next to him, Kevin, watched as Leo tried to write the date. "Still can't hold a pencil straight, Shaky," Kevin whispered, not looking at him. Leo did not answer. He focused on the numbers, his writing coming out in jagged lines. He put his left hand over his right wrist to steady it, just a little. The bell rang for lunch. Leo did not go to the cafeteria. He went to the library instead. It was quiet. He ate an apple from his backpack and worked on his math problems. His hands were calmer when he was alone. After school, he went straight to his job. Quick Eats delivery was on a busy street. His boss, Ray, nodded at him from behind the counter. "Morgan, you're on bike route 4. 3 orders ready." Ray handed him the insulated bags. Leo hooked them onto his bike. His first delivery was to an office building. A woman in a suit met him in the lobby. He handed her the bag. His hand trembled. "Are you okay?" the woman asked, staring at his hand. "I'm fine," Leo said, looking at the floor. "It's just a thing." He rode to the next address, a small house. A man opened the door, took the food, and closed the door without a word. The last delivery was to an apartment. A kid, maybe 10 years old, took the bag. "Your hand is shaking," the kid said, his eyes wide. "I know," Leo said. He managed a small smile. "Have a good dinner." It was dark when he got home. The apartment was warm, and the smell of cooked pasta was in the air. His mother was at the small table, still in her work clothes. She looked very tired. "Hi, honey," she said. "Long day?" "Normal day," Leo said. He put his backpack down and washed his hands. They shook under the running water. He sat with her, and they ate in quiet comfort. She asked about school. He said it was okay. After dinner, his mother went to the couch and turned on the television. Her eyes closed almost immediately. Leo went to his room. It was small. A bed, a desk, a shelf. On the desk was his computer, and next to it, a careful arrangement of tools and small electronic parts. Everything was in its exact place. He sat down and turned on the computer. He did not open a game or a social media page. He opened a complicated design program. On the screen was a detailed drawing of a video game controller, but unlike any sold in stores. Wires and sensors were drawn in fine detail. He looked from the screen to his hands, which rested on the desk, trembling. He looked back at the screen, a fierce focus in his eyes. He picked up a small screwdriver and reached for a circuit board, his movements slow and deliberate. For a few hours, the only sounds were the hum of the computer and the gentle click of his tools. Later, he turned off the light and got into bed. He could hear the soft sound of the television from the living room. He thought about the design on his computer screen. He thought about the number he had seen on a secret bank website page, a number so big it seemed impossible. He closed his eyes. Tomorrow was not going to be a normal day. Leo lay awake for a long time after his mother turned off the television. The number on the screen in his mind would not go away. It was not a dream. When his alarm went off, he got up and dressed in the same gray tee, blue jeans, and black cap. He picked up his yellow backpack. School felt different. The sounds were muffled. He saw Kevin's mouth moving in math class, but did not hear the words. He was looking at his own hands on the desk. Today, he was not just the boy with shaking hands. After the final bell, he walked home quickly. His mother was not there. She had left a note saying she would be home late from her second job. This was good. It was part of his plan. Leo went to his room and closed the door. He sat at his computer. He took a deep breath and typed. He clicked on a secure link. The screen changed. There it was. His bank account. The balance read $3,274,816.55. He stared at the numbers for a full minute. His hands trembled over the keyboard. This was the money from the sale. The money for the steady stream. It was real. He opened a new tab. He typed Lux Motors Beverly Hills. Pictures of shiny low cars filled the screen. He clicked on one. The price was listed, $450,000. He did not flinch. He had done the math many times. He picked up his phone. He called the number for Quick Eats delivery. "Hey, Ray, it's Leo." "Morgan, you running late?" his boss asked. "No, I'm sick today. I can't come in." There was a pause. "You never call in sick." "I know, I'm sorry. I just can't make it." "All right, feel better," Ray said, sounding suspicious. "Don't make it a habit." Leo hung up. He felt a twist in his stomach. He never lied. He looked at the note from his mom on the fridge. He would lie to her too, just this once. He changed his shirt to a clean gray one. He put on his cap. He did not take his delivery backpack. He left it on his bed. He felt strange without its weight. He walked to the bus station downtown. It was loud and busy. He looked at the big schedule board. His eyes found the route. Express to West Side Connections. That was the one. He bought a ticket with cash. The bus was half empty. He sat by a window near the back. The engine rumbled and they pulled out of the city. He watched Detroit pass by. The familiar buildings and streets slowly changed. The neighborhoods looked different. The buildings were newer. There were more trees. Then there were fewer buildings, just fields and highway. The bus made several stops. More people got on. Their clothes were different. Their voices were different. Leo kept his head down. After more than an hour, the bus driver called out, "Beverly Hills Connection next." Leo's heart jumped. He stood up and got off at a clean, modern station. The air smelled different. It was quieter. He asked a station worker for directions. "Lux Motors? Just up the street, you can't miss it. Big glass place." Leo started walking. The sidewalks were very clean. The sun was bright. The cars on the street were quiet and shiny. Everyone walking past him wore nice watches, nice sunglasses. No one looked at him. Then he saw it. A huge building made of glass and steel. Inside, he could see bright lights and the sleek shapes of cars. The sign in elegant letters said, Lux Motors. Leo stopped on the sidewalk. His mouth felt dry. His hands started to shake more than usual. He felt the vibration in his whole arm. He clenched his fists, then let go. He thought of the number on the bank screen. $3,274,816.55. He thought of his mom's tired face. He thought of the secret his sister was keeping. He unclenched his fists. He walked forward, pulled the heavy glass door open, and stepped inside. The cool, perfumed air hit him. The floor was so shiny he could see his reflection. And ahead of him, under the brilliant lights, sat the most beautiful cars he had ever seen. The cool air inside Lux Motors smelled like leather and cleaning products. The lights were so bright they made Leo blink. Cars sat on platforms like works of art, their paint-perfect mirrors. From across the vast showroom, 3 men in identical dark suits stopped their conversation. They watched Leo. He stood just inside the door, his simple clothes looking out of place. The tallest one, Daniel, smoothed his tie. He said something low to the other 2, Mark and Chris. They shared a small, knowing smile. Daniel began walking over, his shoes making no sound on the shiny floor. Mark and Chris followed a few steps behind. "Well, hello there," Daniel said. His voice was friendly, but his eyes were busy looking at Leo's t-shirt, his jeans, his empty hands. "Can we help you find something? The bus stop is back toward the main street." "I'm not looking for the bus," Leo said. His voice was quiet. He cleared his throat. "I'm looking for a car." Daniel's smile stayed, but it got tighter. A car. Wonderful. Did you have a particular model in mind? We have some excellent pre-owned vehicles starting in the mid-five figures. He gestured vaguely toward the back of the showroom. Leo shook his head. He pointed toward the center of the room. I like those three. Daniel, Mark, and Chris all looked where he pointed. It was a lineup of their most exclusive sports cars. One was silver, one was a deep blue, one was bright red. The price placard next to the silver one was too far away to read, but everyone in the building knew what they cost. Mark snorted, then tried to turn it into a cough. Chris looked down at his own shoes. Daniel let out a soft, airy laugh. You have excellent taste. Those are our Vanguard series, truly exceptional machines. He paused, letting the words hang. Perhaps we should start with something more approachable. Do you have a budget in mind? Leo kept his eyes on the cars. I want to buy all three of them. For a second, there was silence. Then Daniel laughed for real. It was a loud, surprised bark. Mark joined in, shaking his head. Chris smiled, but it looked uncomfortable. A well-dressed couple looking at a sedan turned to see what was funny. An older man in a suit paused his phone call to watch. Okay, young man, Daniel said, wiping a pretend tear from his eye. The joke's over. It was a good one. You had us going. But we are very busy professionals. So why don't you run along? It's not a joke, Leo said. His face felt very warm. He could feel the eyes of the other customers on him. His hands, which had been at his sides, began to tremble more visibly. Daniel saw the shaking. His expression changed from amused to annoyed. He took a step closer, lowering his voice so only Leo and the other salesman could hear. Look at you. You're nervous just standing here. You're wasting my time. This isn't a playground. These cars cost more than you'll make in your lifetime. Now, I'm going to ask you politely once more. Leave. Leo's heart hammered against his ribs. The trembling traveled from his hands up his arms. He felt every pair of eyes in the place staring at him, staring at his shaking hands. They all thought he was scared. He wanted to put his hands in his pockets to hide them, but he didn't. The shaking was bad now. Leo could feel it in his elbows, in his shoulders. He saw the people watching, the well-dressed couple, the man on the phone, the other salesman. Daniel's face was a mask of cold amusement, but Leo was not scared. A hot, solid feeling was growing in his chest. It was anger. For all the times he hid his hands, for all the jokes, for this man who saw only clothes. He did not put his hands in his pockets. He did not try to hide them. He held them out in front of him, palms up, letting everyone see. You think this is because of you? Leo said. His voice was louder now. It did not shake like his hands. It's not. Daniel's smirk faded, replaced by confusion. The showroom was utterly quiet. My hands have done this every day since I was born, Leo said. He looked at his own trembling fingers, then back at Daniel. It's a condition. It doesn't hurt. It just is. The man who had been on the phone lowered it from his ear. He was listening. Because of this, Leo continued, I couldn't do things other kids did. I couldn't play video games. My hands would shake and I would lose. He paused, taking a breath. So I stopped trying with them. I stayed in my room. I started learning about computers instead. I learned about electronics. I taught myself how to code. Mark, the second salesman, shifted his weight. He looked at Daniel, then back at Leo. A year ago, Leo said, I built something. I called it the Steady Stream. It's a game controller. It doesn't care if your hands shake. It reads what your muscles want to do, not just what your hands are doing. It lets people like me play. It lets anyone play. He looked around the silent showroom. I sold the patent for that invention. That's how I have money. Daniel's mouth was slightly open. He had no words. The three cars, Leo said, pointing to the silver, blue, and red vehicles, are for my family. One is for my mother. She has worked 2 jobs every day of my life. One is for my sister, Maya, who is in college. One is for me. He looked directly at Daniel. I came here to buy them, that's all. For a long moment, no one moved. The only sound was the quiet hum of the air conditioning. The well-dressed woman was the first to speak. Steady Stream, she said to her husband. I read about that. My nephew has one. It changed everything for him. The man on the phone nodded slowly. Yeah, I saw that story. Teen inventor from Detroit. Daniel's face had lost all its color. He looked from Leo's determined face to his own perfectly polished shoes. I didn't, he started, but no other words came out. Mark took a step back, as if trying to disappear. Chris, the youngest salesman, just stared at Leo. His eyes were wide. He was not looking at Leo's clothes anymore. He was looking at his face, studying it. A strange recognition was dawning in his eyes, mixed with something that looked like dread. The silence in the showroom was heavy. Daniel stared at his shoes. Mark looked at the ceiling. The other customers whispered to each other, glancing at Leo with new eyes. Leo lowered his hands. The trembling was still there, but the hot anger was cooling. He felt empty. He looked at Daniel. "Can I buy the cars now, or not?" Daniel blinked, as if waking up. "Yes, of course. Absolutely. Please come to my office. We can handle the paperwork." His voice was stiff, formal. He gestured toward a glass-walled room. As Leo followed him, the other salesman, Chris, moved. He stepped forward, blocking Leo's path just slightly. His face was pale. "Leo," Chris said. His voice was quiet and unsteady. Leo stopped. He looked at the young salesman. He looked at his blonde hair, his blue eyes. The feeling of recognition was not one-sided anymore. A cold knot formed in Leo's stomach. He knew this face, but from a different place. A noisy lunchroom, a different set of clothes. "You're Leo Morgan," Chris said. It wasn't a question. From near Hamilton High. I went to Jefferson. We had that combined science fair one year." Leo nodded slowly. "I remember Jefferson." Chris swallowed hard. He looked at the floor, then back at Leo. "I remember you. In the lunchroom. Some of the guys from my school. We used to sit near your table. We would—" He trailed off, unable to say it. "You would mimic my hands," Leo finished for him. His voice was flat. "You called me popcorn hands because they shook like kernels popping." Chris flinched. He nodded, his eyes shiny. "Yeah, I did that. I am so sorry, Leo. I was a stupid kid. I didn't think. I never thought I'd see you again. And definitely not here." He waved a hand around the luxurious showroom. Leo just looked at him. The memory was sharp and clear. The laughter, the feeling of trying to eat soup while a table of boys jerked their hands around, laughing. He had told no one about it. He had just taken it. "I don't have an excuse," Chris whispered. "I'm just sorry." Daniel stood awkwardly by his office door, watching. The entire store was watching. Leo didn't know what to feel. The anger was gone. Now he just felt tired. "Okay," he said softly. He didn't say, "I forgive you." He didn't say anything else. He just said, "Okay." He walked past Chris and into Daniel's office. The paperwork was a blur of numbers and signatures. Daniel was overly polite, his voice soft. Leo signed where he was told. He transferred the money. $3 million, minus some change, left his account. It felt less real than the look on Chris's face. An hour later, the keys to 3 very expensive cars were in his hand. Daniel offered to have them delivered. Leo shook his head. "I'll take the red one now. Deliver the other 2 to this address in Detroit tomorrow." He wrote down his apartment address. He walked out of the office. Chris was gone from the showroom floor. Leo didn't look for him. He walked straight to the red car, opened the door, and got inside. The leather seat was soft. The dashboard glowed. He started the engine. It was a low, powerful purr. He drove slowly out of the glass building onto the sunny, clean streets of Beverly Hills. He should have felt like a king. He should have been smiling. He had just done what he set out to do. He had all the money he needed. But as he merged onto the highway, heading back toward Detroit, he felt nothing. The face of the salesman, Chris, floated in his mind. The past was not behind him. It was right here, in the present, apologizing in a showroom. The victory did not taste sweet. It tasted like metal and old memories. He drove in silence, the only sound the hum of an engine that cost more than everything he had ever owned. The red car looked alien on his street. Leo sat in the driver's seat for a minute, watching the evening lights come on in his apartment building. He saw the shadow of his mother moving past their window. She was home. He took a deep breath and got out. The car door closed with a solid, expensive thud. He walked up the cracked concrete path to the front door. He was just putting his key in the lock when the door flew open. Sylvia stood there, still in her work clothes. Her eyes were wide. She looked past him, at the car, then back at his face. "What is that?" she asked, her voice tight. "It's a car," Leo said. "Whose car, Leo?" she said, stepping outside. She walked past him, down the path, staring at the low, shiny red vehicle. This is a $200,000 car. Why is it in front of our building?" "It's mine," Leo said. Sylvia turned slowly. Her face was pale. "No, it is not. Did you borrow this from someone? Did a friend let you drive it?" "I bought it." "Leo James Morgan, you tell me the truth right now." Her voice rose, sharp with fear. "What did you do? Did you steal it? Are you in some kind of trouble with bad people? You tell me this second." "I didn't steal it, Mom." "Then where did you get the money?" she shouted. A neighbor across the street peeked out their window. "You don't just get money for a car like this. You go to school. You deliver food. Tell me." "I invented something," Leo said, his voice calm but firm. "I sold it. That's where the money is from." Sylvia stared at him. Her expression was pure disbelief mixed with panic. "Invented something? What could you possibly invent in your bedroom that gives you money for that?" She pointed a shaking finger at the car. "It's called the Steady Stream. It's a game controller. For people like me." He held out his hands, which were trembling. "For people whose hands shake." She looked at his hands, then back at his eyes. The fear in her face was starting to be joined by confusion. "I don't understand." "Come inside," Leo said softly. "I'll show you." In the apartment, Leo led her to his computer. He opened his web browser. His hands shook as he typed. He pulled up a news article from a tech website. The headline read, "Teen Inventor's Steady Stream Controller Sells for Millions." He pointed to the screen. Below the headline was a picture. It was not a great picture. It was from his school ID. But it was him. The article mentioned his name, Leo Morgan of Detroit. It talked about the invention and how a big tech company bought the patent. Sylvia leaned in, reading silently. Her lips moved with the words. She read the article once, then she read it again. She looked from the screen to Leo's face. "This is you?" she whispered. "Yes." She put a hand on his shoulder. "This is real." "It's real, Mom." "Show me the money," she said, her voice still unsure. Leo logged into his bank account. He turned the screen toward her. She bent down, her eyes scanning the numbers. She counted the digits softly to herself. 3,274,000. She straightened up. She looked at him, her eyes filling with tears. But they were not happy tears. They were tears of shock. "You did this? By yourself? In here?" She looked around his small, neat bedroom. "Yes." For a long time she was quiet. She just looked at him. Then she pulled him into a tight hug. "My smart, smart boy," she mumbled into his shoulder. But when she let go, her face was still clouded with worry. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. "All those nights in here. You were doing this? Why keep it a secret?" "I didn't know if it would work," Leo said. "I didn't want to get your hopes up, or mine." Sylvia nodded slowly. She walked to the window and looked down at the car. "And you bought that, with this money?" "And two more. One for Maya, one for you. They're being delivered tomorrow." Sylvia turned, her eyes wide again. "3? Leo, no, that's too much. This is too much money all at once. Money like this, it changes things. It attracts problems. I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse." She wrapped her arms around herself. "I'm proud of you, so proud. But I am scared. I don't know how to protect you from this." The next morning, a different kind of car arrived. It was an old, noisy sedan. It parked behind the still shiny red car Leo had bought. Sylvia was at her first job. Leo was in the kitchen, eating toast and looking at colleges online for Maya. A firm knock sounded on the apartment door. Leo opened it. A young man about his age stood there. He had a friendly smile, but his eyes were moving quickly, taking in the apartment behind Leo. "Derek," Leo said, surprised. He hadn't seen Derek in over a year. "Leo, man, long time no see," Derek said. He stepped inside without being asked. He looked around. "Heard some crazy rumors. Had to come see for myself." "Rumors?" Leo asked, closing the door. "Come on, Leo. Everyone's talking. Leo Morgan hit the jackpot, sold some invention, bought crazy cars." Derek nodded toward the window, saw the red rocket outside. It's true, huh? Yeah, it's true, Leo said cautiously. He remembered Derek from a computer club years ago. They had hung out sometimes talking about game design. Derek had been there in the very, very beginning when Leo was just brainstorming ideas. Derek whistled, sitting down on the couch. Wow, just wow. So you're a millionaire now? I guess. Must be a crazy feeling, Derek said. He leaned forward. Look, I'm really happy for you. Seriously, it's awesome. He paused. You know, when I heard, I started thinking about all those afternoons at my house, drawing designs on my whiteboard, talking through the problems. Leo felt a chill. We talked about a lot of things, Derek. We talked about that asterisk thing, Derek said, his smile staying but his eyes getting harder. The controller, the concept. I was there, Leo. I helped. I gave you ideas. I even let you use my old laptop for coding that one summer. That was 2 years ago, Leo said slowly. The steady stream wasn't even a real design then. It was just talk. It was the start, Derek insisted. The seed, and you took that seed and made it grow. Now you're rich. He spread his hands. I think it's only fair, you know, considering my contribution, a finder's fee, a partnership share. Leo stared at him. You want money. I want what's fair, Derek corrected. I'm not greedy. Let's say 20%. That seems fair for the co-inventor. You weren't the co-inventor, Leo said, his voice quiet. You were a friend I talked to. Once the real work started, you weren't there. You called it a waste of time. Derek's smile finally vanished. That's not how I remember it. I remember a lot of shared work. I remember my ideas in your notes. If we have to get lawyers involved, my memory will be very clear and very expensive for you. This was a betrayal. It sat in Leo's stomach like a cold rock. Derek wasn't here to celebrate. He was here to collect. I'm not giving you any money, Derek, Leo said. You didn't do the work. You didn't build it. You didn't write the code. The invention is mine. The patent is mine. Derek stood up. His friendly act was completely gone. You're making a big mistake, Leo. You think money is just for buying fancy cars? It's for making problems go away. I could be a problem. A simple payment makes me go away. A friend helping a friend. We're not friends, Leo said. Not if you're doing this. Derek laughed, a short, harsh sound. Fine, have it your way. But this isn't over. You'll see. You're going to be sorry you treated me like this. He walked to the door and yanked it open. Enjoy your car, while you can. He slammed the door behind him. A moment later, Leo heard the roar of the old sedan driving away. Leo stood alone in the quiet living room. His hands were shaking. He thought about the salesman, Chris, from the past, apologizing. Now Derek, from the more recent past, threatening him. The money was a magnet. It was pulling every bad memory and false friend right to his door. He felt very alone, and for the first time, he wondered if his mother's fear was right. The silence after Derek left felt thick and heavy. Leo needed to hear a friendly voice. He needed to talk to someone who wasn't asking for money or making threats. He picked up his phone and called his sister, Maya. The phone rang 4 times, then she answered. Leo? Her voice sounded strange, thick. Hey Maya, I have some, he started. He heard a sob, then another. She was crying. Maya, what's wrong? What happened? Leo asked, his own problems forgotten. I'm so sorry, Leo, she choked out between tears. I'm so sorry. Sorry for what? Are you hurt? Are you safe? I'm safe. I'm at my apartment. It's just, I have to tell you something. I should have told you a long time ago. She took a shaky breath. The tuition money, for this semester, and last semester, it's gone. Leo was confused. What do you mean, gone? Did something happen with the school? No, I used it. A year ago, when you were trying to build your first real prototype. You were in your room every night. You needed those special circuit boards, the ones that cost so much. Leo froze. He remembered. It was the biggest hurdle. The parts he needed cost over $2,000. He had saved every dollar from his delivery job, but it wasn't enough. Then one day, an envelope of cash was in his backpack. $3,000. A note said, "From a believer." You, Leo whispered. That was you? Yes, Maya cried. I saw how hard you were trying. I saw Mom killing herself with 2 jobs. I had my scholarship, but the tuition money from the loan was just sitting in my account for books and fees. I took it out. I gave it to you. Leo's mind was racing. But your school, how did you pay for classes? I didn't, she said, her voice small. I dropped out a year ago, Leo. After I gave you the money, I couldn't pay. So I withdrew from my courses. I told Mom and you that everything was fine. I told you about fake classes, fake professors. Leo felt the room spin. He sat down hard on the couch. No, Maya, no. I got a job, she continued, the words pouring out now. A night job, cleaning offices, a janitor. I've been doing that for a year. I wake up, pretend to go to the campus, but I go to the library to study on my own. Then I go clean buildings at night. I've been lying to everyone. All Leo could see was the beautiful blue car that was supposed to be delivered for her. A gift for his successful sister in college. A gift for a life that didn't exist. My invention, Leo said, his voice hollow. My success. It was built on your money, on your whole life. Don't say that, Maya pleaded. It was built on your genius. I just gave you a push. But I'm so tired of lying, Leo. Mom keeps asking about my grades, about my dorm. I have to make up so many stories. I can't do it anymore. Leo thought of his mother's proud face when Maya got her scholarship. It was the one bright spot in all their struggles. And he thought of the car sitting somewhere, waiting for a college student who wasn't there. The car, Leo said. I bought you a car, Maya. It's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. A gift. For you. On the other end of the line, Maya broke down into deep, racking sobs. A car? Oh, Leo, I don't deserve a car. I'm a college dropout who mops floors. Hearing her say that cut him deeper than anything Derek had said. His brave, smart sister, his partner. You deserve everything, Leo said, a new determination hardening his voice. Listen to me. The car doesn't matter right now. We are going to fix this. I have the money now. All of it. Do you hear me? I hear you, she whispered. Your secret stops now. We are going to fix it together. He looked at his trembling hands. They had built something that broke something else. I am so sorry, Maya. No, she said. Don't you be sorry. You did it. You actually did it. That's all that matters to me. But to Leo, it wasn't all that mattered, not even close. The victory from the showroom was now completely buried under a mountain of guilt and a single crushing truth. His dream had cost his sister hers. The phone call with Maya ended, but her tears seemed to hang in the air of the apartment. Leo didn't sit still. He moved with a new kind of energy. He had cleaned up circuit boards and code for years. Now he had to clean up this. First, he called Maya back. Pack a bag, he said. Come home tomorrow. We're telling Mom everything together. Then we're re-enrolling you in school. I'm paying for it all. Every single cent. Okay, Maya said, her voice still small but no longer crying. Okay, Leo. Next, Leo got in the red car. He drove back to Beverly Hills. The journey felt different this time. He wasn't a nervous kid. He was a man on a mission. He walked into Lux Motors. The same bright lights, the same smell. Daniel saw him first and stiffened, but Leo didn't look at him. He looked for Chris. Chris was by a silver sedan, showing a couple of features on the dashboard. He saw Leo and froze. He said something to the couple and walked over, his step slow. Leo, Chris said, I didn't think you'd come back. I came to talk to you, Leo said. Somewhere quiet. Chris led him to a small break room. It was empty. Chris closed the door. Listen, about the other day, he started. I heard your apology, Leo said. I accept it. Chris looked surprised, then relieved. Thank you. That means a lot. But, Leo continued, his voice even, the things you said back then, they stuck. They hurt for a long time. An apology now doesn't erase that hurt. It just starts to put a bandage on it. Chris nodded, looking at the floor. I know. I don't expect you to forget. I just wanted you to know I remember, and I'm ashamed. I believe you, Leo said. He thought about Derek, who was not ashamed at all. Thank you for saying it to my face. That's more than most people do. Are the cars okay? Chris asked, changing the subject, eager to help. The cars are fine, Leo said. I'm selling 2 of them. We only need 1. Chris looked confused but just nodded. Okay, whatever you need. Leo left the dealership. The conversation was short, but it felt important. He had faced a ghost from his past and looked it in the eye. He didn't feel better, but he felt clearer. His next stop was a lawyer's office in downtown Detroit. He had found one online who specialized in intellectual property. Her name was Attorney Reynolds. He sat in her office and explained everything about Derek. The early talks, the lack of any real work, the threat. Attorney Reynolds listened, took notes, and nodded. "This is unfortunately common," she said. "People see success and come out of the woodwork. You have all the documentation, your design journals, your patent filings?" "Yes," Leo said. "Everything is dated. He's not in any of it." "Good," she said. "We'll send a cease and desist letter. It will state clearly that he has no claim to your invention or your money. It will warn him that any further attempts to claim otherwise or harass you will result in legal action." "Will that make him go away?" Leo asked. "In most cases, yes," she said. "When people see you are serious and have the law on your side, they back down. He is hoping you are a scared kid who will pay. We will show him you are not." 2 days later, Leo got an email from Attorney Reynolds. Derek had received the letter. He had called her office, angry, but then he had gone quiet. He would not be contacting Leo again. Leo deleted the email. He felt no victory, just a quiet tiredness. He was putting out fires, one by one. The mess was getting smaller, but the air was still full of smoke. He thought of Maya coming home tomorrow to tell their mother the truth. That would be the biggest fire of all. Maya's old suitcase was by the door. The three of them sat around the small kitchen table, Sylvia, Leo, and Maya. The air was heavy with unsaid words. Maya twisted a strand of her hair around her finger. "Mom," Maya began, her voice barely a whisper. "I haven't been in college for a year. I dropped out." Sylvia's face went still. "What do you mean?" "I used my tuition money," Maya said, tears starting again. "I gave it to Leo for his invention. I didn't want him to give up, so I quit school and got a job cleaning offices. I've been lying to you every day." Sylvia looked from Maya's tear-streaked face to Leo's serious one. She didn't shout. She put a hand over her mouth, her eyes filled with pain. "All this time, you've been working as a janitor? And you," she said, looking at Leo, "you were carrying this alone too?" "We're not carrying it alone anymore," Leo said. He reached out and put his hand on the table, letting the tremor show. "We're a family. We fix things together. Here's my plan." He laid it out piece by piece. "First, Maya is going back to school. I will pay for everything, her tuition, her books, an apartment near campus, everything." Maya nodded, wiping her eyes. "Second," Leo said, looking at his mother, "you are quitting your second job. Today, you keep the day job if you love it, but no more nights, no more doubles." Sylvia started to protest. "Leo, I can't just—" "You can," he said firmly. "The money is real. It's safe. It's not going anywhere." "Third," Leo continued, "we are moving out of this apartment. We will buy a small house in a safer, quieter part of Detroit. A place with a real kitchen and a yard. A home." Sylvia looked around the cramped kitchen as if seeing it for the first time in years. A single tear rolled down her cheek. She didn't wipe it away. "And the cars?" Maya asked softly. "The cars were a mistake," Leo said. "I was trying to buy a happy ending, but happy endings aren't for sale." He took a deep breath. "We sell the blue one and the silver one. We use that money to make sure Maya's future is solid. We keep the red one, but only because it's already here. We trade it in next week for one safe, normal car for the family. No more flash, just us." Sylvia reached across the table. She took Leo's shaking hand in one of hers and Maya's hand in the other. She held on tight. "My brave, stubborn children," she said, her voice thick. "You should have told me." "We know," Leo and Maya said at the same time. A week later, the blue and silver cars were gone. A simple, safe, gray SUV was parked outside. The papers for a modest 3-bedroom house in a better neighborhood were being signed. Leo stood in his almost empty bedroom, packing the last of his tools into a box. His mother was humming a Motown song in the living room. Maya was on the phone with the college admissions office, her voice bright and clear. He looked at his hands. They still shook. They always would. He didn't put them in his pockets. He held them up, watching the familiar tremor. It was just a part of him, like the color of his eyes. He was not the invisible boy. He was not just the kid with shaky hands. He was Leo Morgan. He was an inventor. He was a brother. He was a son. The money had fixed some problems, but it was this quiet moment, this united family, that fixed everything else. He picked up the box and carried it out to the new car where his family was waiting.